Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we're taking a walk through the gardens. We have a beautiful day here today. It's been sunny all day long. We're getting some work done on the homestead. Now it's time to take a walk through the gardens. I'm Pups. I got my brother's dogs with me because they're on vacation right now. We have Zima on the right. We have Remy right here. Gizmo in white. And Teddy went back in the shade. But we have some gorgeous blooms around the gardens right now, and they're calling for some thunderstorms tomorrow and the next day. So I wanted to take a walk around and show you how everything's looking. And we're gonna have some company. Careful, girl. The plastic lid right there will fall in a hole. There's Teddy. You coming, bud? You can walk around with us, bud. Get some exercise. Remy, you going swimming, girl? We do have some beautiful blooms here on the pond bank. The lupin is gorgeous right now. A lot of stalks on each plant. And in the middle there, we still have the columbine blooming, a nice deep purple. Pop. But we had a few different lupins this year pop up, and they're all reseeding from the original planting I had here on the bank, as well as all the bachelor button just being reseeded from last year's flowers. Coming into bloom too. Gorgeous. Pups. Gizmo. What are you two doing? I know, Pup. She's supposed to be a mastiff. Why is she not so big? You pups. We have some gorgeous irises blooming over there on the ramp bed too. The purple and the white ones. Beautiful. Pups. What are you doing? The gladiolas are coming up in the middle there too. Don't be a girl. Oh, these fish just want fed every time I come out here to the pond bank. What are you yelling about? Hey, don't be yelling for no reason. Unless there's another hawk out there. One of them swooped on the ducks earlier. Everybody safe? Mambos. Looking good. Oh, Remy, you at the beach now. You can go swimming, girl. Zima, you cooling off? But anyway, we're getting a lot of blooms here on the pond bank, and things are looking good, even though we have a lot of weeds in the middle here that still need pulled out. I'm just one person tending these gardens. Things aren't going to look perfect all the time. But the creeping Jenny is looking nice and bright, wrapping around the rocks here on the side of the waterfalls. And we also had another perfectly placed lupin that volunteered right here on the corner of the falls. Now, Zima, don't eat any of those fish, girl. Go ahead, Robin, get back to your nest. I brought the dogs out here. You can head back in. And we also have a pen stemming coming back here, which is really good. I planted like 4 of them, and it looks like only 2 of them survived the winter. But those are looking pretty good. Gizmo, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be going through the gardens. You dog. Hey, out. Get out of there. What are you doing? Gizmo, what are you doing? Get out of my garden, dog. There you go. Keep it moving. Now on the other side of the waterfalls there's not much to see. I have a lot of weeding to do over here. We do have the gladiola popping up there in the center, which is really good to see. It survived the winter. And if you look closely, you can see a lot of volunteer sunflowers popping up as well. It would really behoove me to move those into a better spot. What are you doing, bluegill? I see you. Zima, like we said, we have some beautiful blooms on these irises over here next to the ramp. And there are a lot of stalks popping up on these irises. They should be blooming here for a while. Now, we did get some things planted down in the vegetable garden, and we got our main giant pumpkin planted in the patch. Now, I'm hoping it does well, but we still have these ones to change it out if something goes wrong. And I also got some tomatoes and peppers planted down there. These are actually probably all extra. I'm just saving them here for now in case something goes wrong with the ones I got in the ground. And then we have a whole tray of marigolds I need to plant. And also some flowers inside the greenhouse are starting to pop up. In this tray we have some nasturtium that are starting to germinate. Happy birthday, little ones. And then I was thinking I saw some of the coleus starting to germinate as well. Very tiny. But hopefully we get some more. Keep these lids on for now. Right next to the greenhouse we have a beautiful patch of irises blooming as well. The funeral color, at least that's what I call it. Aw, Pup, did Remy just go around the corner? Aw, these dogs. But we do have some blooms over in the side garden with the lupin and the irises as well. Nice patch right there. And behind it, look at that grouping. Gorgeous. Alright, come on back, Remy. You stay with me, girl. Next to the maple tree here, we have one of the rhododendrons blooming. And this rhododendron, as you can tell from the size, is one thing that I didn't plant. This thing's older than me. Oh, Remy. But my grandma used to have a bunch of these around her property, and I called them the bee bush, because there's a lot of bumblers in there. The bees love the rhododendron every time it starts to bloom. And who doesn't? Huh, Pups? Looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Hey, I don't need you to water my hostas, bud. Keep it moving. You either, girl. I think the Solomon seal's starting to finish up its bloom, but we're still gonna have some nice color in the foliage here for a while. Huh, Pups? Everybody staying together? Remy, you taking us to the vegetable garden next? Alright, girl, we'll go this way. We'll go into the garden. We do have some blooms on the front entrance of the vegetable garden here. The purple iris is coming up. We have a bunch of these around. And of course another beautiful purple lupin. Can't have enough of these either. Oh, and that's really good to see. The hibiscus is coming back. These things come up really late. Sometimes it feels like it's not going to come up at all, and then you finally get some sprouts. I don't see anything from the purple gladiolas that we put in just yet. What are you doing, Gizmo? Girls? Checking out the cut flower garden? I got that weed whacked today. Tried to leave the irises coming up. More purple ones blooming. Huh, Pups? Keep an eye on those birds. Make sure they're safe. Got Mumbles way up here in the corner. Preening. What are you all doing? Y'all weeding the garden. Chewing up that fescue. Good Pups. Got all of them working. But if you've been following along inside the garden here, we got the new hose reel, retractable hose reel hooked up so we can get everything watered a lot easier. This year we finally got a hydrant down in the gardens. We did the ditch project right before spring came. So now we can actually have water on tap and run some hoses down here in the vegetable garden. I didn't have time to come in here and harvest these greens yet, but I could probably cut about 6 inches off of these and let them keep coming back. Harvesting them that way is going to give me a few harvests before we finish up here in the summer. This bed is the worst for the thistle. I haven't got in there and hand weeded around all the onion and the garlic yet, so it looks terrible. But the onions and the garlic are still growing. We can just call that a multiculture. Over here in the J bed, the cabbages are looking a lot better. We have 3 different kinds of cabbages in here. Can't really tell the difference. I guess these ones are a little bit tighter. This batch actually looks pretty spread out. What are you doing, Ladybug? Hey, don't eat that leaf. I sprayed it with BT. We don't really want you eating that leaf. The caterpillars are going to eat the leaves. A few holes in them you can see. But I sprayed all the cabbage here and pretty much all my plants with the BT, the Bacillus thuringiensis. Even sprayed the potato bed over here just so we don't have anything eating the leaves. You can see all these potatoes coming up, even though they got singed by the frost a little bit. We got them coming up a little bit too early, but now they're pushing right through all that frost burn. Oh, both beds are coming up. These ones are actually getting kind of tall. Probably get in there and hill them with the hay again. We want to keep that hay on there because we don't want any potatoes revealing to the sun. They'll turn green and they'll actually be poisonous to eat. So I have a bale of hay over here and we're just going to keep hilling these, trying to keep those potatoes all covered up. We have some perennials in the cut flower garden out there looking good. I tried not to cut them down whenever I was weed whacking through there. The grass just took over too strong. There's really no way I can plant anything in there until I wrangle that grass. On the short side of the J bed here, we have the tomatoes and the peppers. Mostly peppers here, and then we have a couple of tomatoes there in the middle. I don't really eat a lot of tomatoes in my diet besides ketchup and occasionally some salsa. But if I make my own salsa, that would be a lot better. So we do have some peppers here. We have the California bell peppers on the right here for dinners and such. And then we have some peppers with flavor, the cayenne, the sweet banana, and the jalapeno. That should be enough to cover my pepper needs. Huh, Pop? Remy weed in the garden? Good, everybody's helping. Everybody but Ted. Ted just sitting in there on the couch. It looks like we ran out of blooms here on the pollinator ring. I'm gonna have to get some other things in here blooming. These little white things are almost done. What? You don't have to yell when he yells. What are you trying to say? All right, you bird. Now for the most important thing in the vegetable garden, we have the giant pumpkin getting started here on the mound. And this thing is getting attacked by the cucumber beetles. Look at them all over that. I do have this plant sprayed with the BT as well, but they actually have to eat the leaf for that to get into their system and knock them out. However, I did notice something today that is not good. We have a split. Not in a good spot either. Now usually a split right there on the trunk isn't that big of a deal, but since the plant is so small right now, it's getting all its life source just from that root system. Once it actually vines out and starts laying down, every node point will drop down another root system, and it can pretty much survive without the main stump at that point. But I'm really not happy with this having a big split like that this young in the plant. I might have to switch this one out with another one. That's not going to happen today, but that is an option. Huh, Pups? We're probably going to have to do that soon. I really don't want to waste any time growing, and I don't think this plant's going to perform that well with a big split already. And at this point in the growth, I'm thinking it's split because of its genetics, and that just means it's going to split even more as it keeps growing. We are growing a hybrid pumpkin, so whenever you get seeds out of a hybrid, they don't always breed true. So unfortunately, it's looking like I'm going to have to dig this one out and replace it with another one. More projects, Pup. But before we leave here, looking behind the compost, we have some beautiful blooms. Look how large these Chinese snowballs are on the bush. Those are like softballs on there. They're huge. And you can see the other rhododendron blooming already on this side because it gets the morning sun. Beautiful. I actually want to open up this area by the compost once we get a fence on the perimeter. I really hate wasted space in the gardens, and I think once we have a perimeter fence up, I'll be able to put a tool shed back here for the gardens. It'll be nice to be able to walk back here and enjoy this area. It's the only place on my property that we have the Dame's Rocket blooming. Gorgeous. I'm trying to let those go to seed so they can spread a little bit more back here. Huh, Pup? You getting cozy? Cool in the shade? All right. So that's pretty upsetting. We have to switch out this pumpkin already. But I didn't plant any of the backups yet. We have this one over here that is a prime candidate. See how it doesn't have a split? No split on the stalk is a good thing. It's looking good. We have a lot of cucumber beetles over here. I'm gonna have to get the 7 out. It's the only thing to stop these guys. Get out of here. Cover up my roots. So this guy might have to be pulled up to the big leagues. It's probably about time. It wants to vine. But while I had the weed whacker out, I came over to the squash mound here and got it pretty much all the way chopped down. I'm thinking about using that weed killer you guys are talking about with the cleaning vinegar and the soap. I'm going to try spraying that on here. I probably won't do it today because we have that rain coming, but I'm going to do it the next time we have some dry weather. Try and get this squash mound all knocked down, and then I can get this fabric on it and get some more pumpkins planted. And look, more irises. Gorgeous. I think we have the same color, yep, going all the way down. Things kind of look sparse right now, but I'm trying to make the gardens nice and full, so pretty much in 10 years, things are gonna look great. I'm trying to create something here my whole family can enjoy, even the ones that aren't here yet. But the gardens are progressing and we have most of the staples in. I still have to get some cucumbers started. We're gonna be doing cucumbers and pickling cucumbers, as well as some zucchini and some butternut squash, probably some other summer vegetables too. Where'd everybody go? Gotta find the dogs. I gotta check in on the pups and then we'll head over to the island garden. Teddy, what's everybody doing? Hey Teddy, where's everybody else? Hanging out in the cool shade? Zima. Remy. Gizmo. Alright, you guys do you. You're good in here. Teddy. You're not wanting to walk around in the gardens, bud? Alright. I got the fans on for them. Huh, Pop? I know, Pups, I know. We'll try and finish this up here soon. It's dinner time for me and them. Look how good this looks. Loving it. I did get the broilers moved out on pasture, so we have the little peepers in the bird box now. Hey, little ones. Hey, Remy. I see you. We got all 8 little peepers that we hatched out in the incubator. Hopefully we have some girls. Not girls. But over here in the island garden, things are looking pretty nice. Wrapping around the bench, we have another rhododendron blooming. And that sun poking through is just beautiful. Huh, Zima? Why don't you go sit up on that bench? Remy, who wants to sit on the bench? Echo, come here. Up, up. There you go. Zeet. Zeet. There you go, pup. What are you doing, Remy? You in the shot? I see you, girl. I'm trying to get a good picture here. Good boy. Next to the rhododendron here, we have the world's largest hosta, the Empress Wu. Boy. She made it 20 feet away from you. Starts squawking. You birds. But the Empress Wu hosta is getting really large here. I think we're on year 3 for this one. We have another variegated hosta popping up right underneath that I'm probably going to have to move. It's getting taken over. But beside that, this bright splash of color is the candy corn spirea, and it's starting to put on some buds. And I'm sure you can imagine with how small the buds are, how small the flowers are going to be. But it does bring in the bees. Spirea is a bee favorite. What are you two doing back there? You puppies. All along the pathway here, we have the purple periwinkle vine blooming, just added a nice splash of color. But more importantly, we have the irises blooming on the island peninsula. And my favorite iris in all the gardens here is this dark purple one, almost black in certain areas. I only have one of these, so I'm trying to get this one to grow a little bit bigger, and then I'll be splitting it off so I can get it into some other locations. But look how black it is as it's unraveling. Gorgeous. Huh, Pups? There are many perennials blooming in the island here, but the irises are taking the show right now. The allium are actually just finishing up. But actually, some white ones should be coming here soon. Oh, Remy, what's the apples doing? Taking your ducks for a walk? Keep it tight. Just got the chickens out into a new area today as well. They're enjoying some forage. And girls. But anyway, down here in the gardens, we have another beautiful purple iris that you saw over in the vegetable garden. We have a few of these in the cut flower garden, just trying to spread things around so everything's blooming all at once. But over here is another one that we only have here. We have this orange one just coming up right now. We're going to be splitting this one off to spread it all around the gardens as well. I'm expanding the gardens every year, so I'm pretty much just letting a lot of these perennials grow. So whenever I have another garden space, I can just split them up and multiply them. And this would be a nice one to spread around. As well as this pink one over here. It just has a beautiful tone to it. Oh, Remy. And then one more color we don't have anywhere else in the gardens, just here on the island. This yellow one with the purple center. What a combination. Kind of reminds me of a corpse flower. And then another allium just finishing up its bloom. A beautiful plant. But the irises aren't the only thing blooming here on the island garden. We also have this viburnum. Now this actually came out of my brother's house in New York, so I'm not sure of the exact species of this one, but it has nice little saucer blooms. Beautiful. Not all pollinators are pretty bees, but I threw that on the corner not exactly knowing what I was going to get, but I am really happy with how it's been turning out. On the back side of the island you can see more of the rhododendron blooming, and we also have a columbine that's spread back here. Look at that little volunteer. Glad you're here. Oh, Remy. We also have a fern back here, and I'd really like to get some more ferns around the property. I have a lot of shady spots that would just love it. But this is the hedge of daylilies, and I'm glad to see that the deer did not eat it down this year. So we're going to have a good show of orange later in the summer. The food forest is a mess, and people are wondering why I call it the food forest, because it doesn't look like much. But I do have a pear tree right here. On the corner we have a large nectarine tree. And on the other side, unfortunately, my pomegranate tree didn't make it through the last winter. But a lot of this you see here are berry bushes. I have a variety of berry bushes going through here, so the food forest is pretty much just for edible plants. Some are medicinal plants and others are just garden ready, grab and eat. But it's a work in progress, and a lot of things are getting established here where they're going to be on year 3 or 4 and actually put out a good harvest. At least I'm hoping to get a decent berry harvest this year. On Gizmo. On Bud. I didn't do too much maintenance on the plants, but I'm still hoping they put out some berries. Naturally. Huh, Bud? Huh, Pop? Still no Ted. You don't want to walk around with us. Oh, Teddy, you did come out, Bud. Come on, Teddy. Where you going, Bud? You just sniffing? All right. Well, he's out and about. I got some of the garden edging done around here, so it's looking a little bit cleaned up. Nothing blooming around the poplar tree yet. I need to get some water in that bird bath. And I haven't got any mulch for this area yet. Not sure I'm going to be doing all the way out here. Goat Mountain looks good in the distance. That is temporary though. I'm going to be changing the terrain out there a lot. But over here at the pergola garden, we have some blooms coming in on the blue Amsonia. This is a pretty neat little plant. I'm glad I picked this up at the nursery. It has beautiful little star blooms on it. They were a lot more blue whenever I got it, so I think the pH is a little off, but they still have a little bit of a blue tint to the white. I really enjoy having it out here, and it's right next to the pathway, so you can brush up against it, and it's very fern-like. Real soft. But right behind that, and all over the gardens too, we have the peony about to bloom. We still have the ants working on the buds. This one was a really big white one last year, and it looks like the frost kind of got it this year, and it doesn't have as many bloom stalks. That's unfortunate, but it's still going to have some blooms, and the peony is one of the best fragrances here. It actually might be third on the list with the stargazer lily ahead of it and the blue jacket hyacinth. But the vines are starting to grow. We have the red trumpet vine here on the left. We have the sweet autumn clematis here that's getting a little bit bushy. I'm going to have to do some trimming around the bottom, try and force the growth up. Beside that, we have the honeysuckle vine taking up all the space I've given it so far. And the silver lace vine over here taking up everything I gave it and more. Look inside here, it's just reaching all over the bistro set. But it did make the green wall I wanted it to. Huh, Pups, Zima, Remy, Echo Pup, Gizmo, Ted. Where you going? We're not going out front, Ted. There's not much out there right now. Nothing blooming but the dianthus. And we kind of walked past it, but we actually have some dianthus blooming in here too. Right between the blue fescue. Very vibrant. Look how bright this pink is. Gorgeous. Hazima. Now I see you, girl. We got a few more in there. I actually need to shape up this blue fescue. There's always a lot of work to do in the gardens. Alright, that's going to be all for this one. That's what the gardens are looking like here in the middle of May. If you want to keep following along with the garden tours and the garden projects here, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching. Good boy. Huh, Pups. Everybody but Ted